We're back here live at NFT Fest with our friend here, Ashur from Lazy Lions, GM.
GM. You know, I don't often say that, but...
I was going to say, how often do you say GM?
Man, not... You're very
Are you a Wag Me guy? Are you a Wag Me guy?
If someone says GM to me, though, I'm like always like, yeah, GM, GE. You heard of GE?
Oh, what's that?
Good evening.
Oh, who would have thought?
Oh, there you go.
GO, get out with that type of word. GM always, all day. Lazy Lions, OG community, till date. When was it truly formed that it was an Australian-based community? When was that?
I mean, so like first off, like we're from Oz, right? I grew up in Sydney, Southwest, Liverpool, actually.
Hey.
Yeah, straight in the fucking ghetto. But terrific childhood, right? So that's me and my co-founder, cousin, actually. So, man, like where did it start? Like early 21, March. I remember just hearing about NFTs, and at the time, the market was like 100 mil total lifetime trading volume, which is like a third of like this month, and we're in a bear market, right? So like the market was tiny. I remember hearing about it and I was like, dude, this is just gonna change shit up, like with just how we're gonna be just owning digital assets, right? You've now got this like trustless, third party, cheap, you know, it's got all the, you know, provenance and all the other attributes of the blockchain, great. But we didn't start with profile photos. We just dove in, we tried to do NFTs for gamers. Nobody gave a fuck. And I was like, okay, NFTs, gaming, not gonna work. And then Bored Apes came out.
Is that still the use
Still
case?
the case, man. Yeah,
What do you think causes that? What's that friction point? These gamers just don't want to use NFTs. It's in their best benefit, right?
I think it's a good question. I think when people think, it's not just gamers though. I think most people look at NFTs and think, shit, you know, somebody, you know, sold a dick in a
Crypto
butt.
dick butt.
Yeah, and I love that project. But like, you know, like they sell that kind of random ass shit and made 200 grand, and you know, I'm going to work in the morning, right? So it's like that kind of thinking, and like that's not what NFTs, I think, you know, are really about for the long term nature of like what's going to happen, right? So like that's where I think it comes from. But yeah, they didn't give a fuck, and then we saw what happened with Bored Apes. We're like, oh shit, people are creating brands from scratch with the community, and you're kickstarting it with thousands of people. I was like, okay, because we didn't have a brand or anything, right? I wasn't even on social media. And so we put it out there. We had to be Lions. You know, I mean, like it is what it is. We're Lions, we resonate with that. And so we put it out there.
Is that in relation to the Lion King?
Well, Lions, my heritage, like ethnic background is Assyrian. So lions are really prominent in the history of that, like, you know, 6,000 years ago. So that's always been a thing for us growing up. We just resonate with it, with the archetype of lion. And we put it out there. We put out the values of what we wanted the project to stand for, and just, you know.
You guys launched in a very prominent
reaction.
time as well, very early in the space, particularly the Australian scene. Do you think it would have done as well if you would have launched today?
I think the same project as is, you have to adapt, right? It's a different market. And, you know, I've had this question before. It's like, are there still going to be successful projects? I put it out like this, right? Let's say next year is a nothing year where it's sort of quiet. It is what it is. NFA. Will there be any projects that launch and make you go, wow, like that was a really innovative way of launching with NFTs, and they go and be successful? I think it would be extremely pessimistic to think that no one's going to launch a successful NFT brand. But, you know, just like in any recession, right? Because it's affecting everybody. I was in software sales. I was an account manager. I had Victorian clients during the lockdown of COVID, right? I mean, shit, like no one's doing any business, like small, medium businesses. You got to work twice as hard, you get half the result, right? It sucks. It is what it is. And with NFTs, we've got the added pressure of what's happening with FTX and all the other, you know, shit that puts the industry back a lot. Like that, it is upsetting because that affects us all, right? In terms of capital being put into the space and just trust from the general public. You know, the gamer issue, it just gets multiplied now. So, you know, like short answer, are you still able to launch a successful NFT project? I think you have to redefine what that means for sure. But absolutely, we're going to see some that go, wow.
You keep on
Amazing.
touching on this point, innovation. Which particular part do you think people will innovate on? The technology, the gamification, the art, or a combination of all three?
That's the exciting part, right? I think we're going to see different flavors of that for sure. Like I know what we're focused on. We're seeing a lot of other projects focus on this as well. We're going to be trying, like, as our other projects, no one has true product market fit, right? Because just because you've done a lot of trading volumes, and I say this about everyone, Bored Apes included, right, who I've got a ton of respect for, just because you've generated a lot of revenue does not mean you have product market fit, right? I think anyone who's been in the space and, like, you know, will understand that. So they're going to be figuring things out. But, you know, one of the exciting things is like physical wear, right? Just as an example, like that's one thing that we're starting to see more and more people focus on. Be exciting to see how that plays out, especially from the attention from Web 2. But yeah, I mean, the art question as well. There's so many possibilities, and I think that's the exciting part.
Beautiful.
NFT MELB, connect, create, collaborate. How'd I do?